So Anthony, how do you see this fight with Kovalev? Is it an opportunity? Is it a hard task? How do you see it?
Well, I feel like we'll find out on the night. I just got to go in there and do my job. That's it. And all that's in my mind is victory by KO.
What will be the most satisfying thing about beating Kovalev in Russia?
Again, the challenge, as you're saying this, to some people it seems like an impossible task. And just like when I started boxing and so many people said that it's impossible for me to get to the stage I'm at now, it's just another challenge. And I'm one of them people that's driven by challenges.
We've talked before about the critics, the detractors. When I use the when rather than an if, because I know that's what you guys like. When you beat Kovalev, how will it feel to silence them? Because Kovalev is ranked #1 by Boxing News and #2 by Ring Magazine. So you would have beaten a guy who's consensus top 1 or 2 in the world.
100%.
So how would it feel to silence the doubters?
I don't really focus on doubters. I feel like doubters are still supporters. They're still giving you energy. They're still talking about you. They're still, they're still interested. So the satisfaction for me will again be becoming world champion, fulfilling a goal, fulfilling a dream, moving upwards and onwards.
You talk about negative energy there, but and energy being energy. But is the negative stuff? Do you turn that into a positive?
100%. You need to. But the way I just see it is, from they're talking about you, it's a positive. So everything leads to the positive road. If they're saying something bad, they're saying something good, they're still talking about you. So I just take it how it comes.
Who would you say is the best you've faced so far?
Myself. Tunde. No.
Tunde, who would you say is the best fighter he's fought so far?
Me.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
I'm the best. I'm the best. I've said it from the start. This is Snake and the Monkey Shadow.
If you watch the karate movies.
I watch the teacher and the student. You don't see sparring partners. You just see the teacher and the student. Because the student has his own self. And his self is his own challenge. And the teacher is the mirror. And I feel that's what's brought me and Anthony to this stage.
Let's go back to the negativity, and I don't want to dwell there for too long. But there are the critics, skeptics, the same guys we talked about, that said the jump to Kovalev from the guys that you fought, and I'll start with you with this, Anthony, is too big a jump. What do you say? Because if you've been fighting guys at a certain level and then Kovalev's #1 or 2 in the world?
Well, I just see it as this. It's always going to be like that. There's some people that literally go through the rankings very slowly. There's some people that get offered opportunities and just don't ever take it. I've got an opportunity here, and I feel like I've got the ability, I've got the capabilities to do it. So why not? It got put to me before. I was up for it then. Because again, I said this before. People say, "Oh, he's not fighting nobody. He don't want to fight anybody, or whatever." You're a joker. You're actually a joker. When it got put to me first time, I was up for it, and that was a while ago. But now, again, my team, everyone's in unanimous agreement within my team. So we're going to Russia, and we're going to enjoy it.
Tunde, it's an audacious ask, isn't it, to go to Russia to beat the consensus #1 in the world. It's a big job, isn't it?
No, not at all. And to answer your question about the jump in class, I asked you a question. Who did Kovalev fight before he fought for his first world title?
I suppose Kovalev, I suppose his big step up in class was Cleverly when he fought for the WBO.
Exactly. Who did?
But Cleverly, I'm not sure, was a consensus #1.
Who did?
With a back catalogue of big wins behind him.
Okay, then who did Callum Johnson fight before he fought Beterbiev? Go and look at his record. Look at Anthony's record. Look at Anthony's last 5 fights, starting from Birani, Sikloka, Nemes Patty.
So they say, obviously, in this sport, it's about timing. So you think the timing's just the stars have aligned.
I just feel like a fight's a fight. So again, there's been people that have been put in front of me and I've annihilated them. there's been people that have been put in front of Kovalev and he's annihilated them. Now it's going to clash. For me, it's all. I'm going to make up my own word. A facade in my mind of what people are saying about to jump up in class, etc. For me, it's a fight. When Mike Tyson fought for the world title against Trevor Berbick, they're saying that was a jump up in class. Tyson annihilated Trevor Berbick. So again, I've got a certain mind frame. So nothing no one says is going to kerfuffle my mindset.
Do you foresee a hard night?
No.
Do you envisage having to show things that you've not shown us before?
Have to, I don't know. I could go in there literally pop, pop, and knock him out first round. You don't know. Again, you deal with it on the night. You don't start thinking about bad things or think about the how hard it's going to be or what ifs or whatever. Sometimes you don't even think about what you're going to go in there and you don't think about how easy it's going to be. Because again, you might become complacent. You work hard in the gym, you do your job, and on the night, you demonstrate, you perform. That's what boxing's about. People try to muddle it up and confuse it. You go in there, you're going to have a fight.
Do you sense the expectation and the excitement that British boxing's got for the fight?
It's fantastic, but again, it's not in my domain. I don't focus on that.
Do you not feel though that there's a bit of a wave of support now behind you? Now you've got this opportunity. Now you've got the chance.
I feel like it's coming, but again, it's inevitable. I feel like in the sport of boxing, the way it always goes is sometimes people are with you, sometimes people are against you, and it always twists and turns. You know, you might do something that rubs one person the wrong way, you might do something that rubs another person the wrong way. You might rub everyone the right way in the beginning and then do something and then everyone's against you. It's just the nature of the beast. And watching boxing over the years or even looking back in history, it's always gone like that. Always gone like that. No matter how perfect someone was, there's always some people saying, I want him to lose. I want this to happen, I want that to happen. It's always going to be like that.
It's not just British boxing that's getting excited about it though. Obviously there was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson tweeted about the fight. Which is great. You're a big fan of his or have been a fan of his over the years.
Listen, there's very few people, the word you just said, a fan. There's very few people I'm a fan of. But again, I was one of them people I grew up, you know, doing the people's eyebrow. I was one of the people that had all the fake belts. Don't know if I can do it good, but I had all the fake belts. I made my own belts. I used to walk around in pants with my knee braces, with my elbow pads.
You did your own Steve Austin waistcoat as well.
I had the Steve Austin waistcoat. I cut out letters to put 316 here. I was a wrestling fan, but The Rock and Stone Cold were my main guys. The Rock was more of my guy. So I was one of the people messing up my house. You know, the thing that comes, you know, what your TV comes in. Yeah, that I was one of the people like breaking that over my cousin's head, using the you know, pies where you used to get the little metal thing, using it as steel chairs. Like, listen, I grew up watching wrestling, and then again, for what Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, has accomplished outside of wrestling, what he's gone on to achieve is nothing short of spectacular.
Could you imagine a career switch like that down the line?
I don't really focus on that right now. I feel like focusing on one thing at a time, and right now it's boxing and, you know, trying to get yourself into the Hall of Fame.
Because I heard I heard a line, I think it was on a podcast the other day, they said that you're one of the few guys that could win a world title and Love Island on the same night.
You ain't gonna see me in Love Island, I'll tell you that for free. I'll tell you that for free.
And with the WWE, it's coming to BT next year as well.
Yeah?
It's coming to BT Sport, which is great. Okay. How exciting is it to be part of this 175-pound division now? Because it's not just lip service to say it is one of the most exciting divisions in world boxing, with Bivol, with Vosdick, with yourself, with Kovalev. When you see it, when you look at the top 5 or 10 in the world, do you lick your lips? Are you excited with it?
It's very exciting. When I first started professional boxing, everyone was saying, oh yeah, it's not really an exciting weight class. You should try to do super middle, or you should try to go cruiserweight. They're the exciting weight classes right now. That's near your weight. I just said what me and Tony said from the beginning, everything's timing. And again, as I've gone on, the division's blossomed. You know, you got Andre Ward went up and fought Kovalev. You got so many different fights that happen. And again, there's more talks of people coming up in the weight division. So it's a very exciting weight division. Right now, the Russians are dominating. I feel like all the world champions right now are Russian, up until the 24th. So I feel like the light heavyweight division is blooming right now.
Tunde, as a manager and trainer, what's your assessment of the 175-pound division?
I just feel the person responsible The person responsible for making it glamorous is Anthony Yarde. That's why I say he's the A-side. I believe, you know, it's taken a person like Anthony to come along and glamorize the division. He is the modern day Roy Jones of the 175 division, in my opinion. We got every fighter, light heavyweight in the UK talking Anthony's name. Everyone talks about Anthony Yarde. In the US, everyone, if they wasn't before, are now talking about Anthony Yarde. The Ukrainians, Russians, there is a difference. Yes, they have a hold on the 175 division, but we're about to spoil the party. And as Anthony said, on August the 24th, it's a new day, it's a new dawn.
What are you looking at long term? Are you looking at winning all the belts, unifying, and then moving up, or is cruiserweight closer to your sights?
Well, it's one thing at a time, but I'm greedy. You've seen the way I eat. I'm greedy. When there's a meat there, when there's a feast, I want to taste all the meats. So again, you know, you only know within time. You don't know what opportunities are gonna come. So you deal with one thing at a time. And my only focus right now, the only thing I can see is August 24th and getting my hands on the WBO belt.
There was talk about a World Boxing Super Series at 175. Is that something you guys have ever been a part of?
Again,
discussions?
right now, nothing to do with me. I'm fighting on the 24th. That's all I care about. Afterwards, that's a question for after.
Yeah. Okay. Just one more in the future, actually.
Yeah.
One more. Down the line, will we ever see a heavyweight Anthony Yarde?
Stay tuned.
Okay. August 24th is a big day.
Yes.
A couple of reasons. Your favourite fighter, one of your favourite fighters is James Toney.
Oh yeah.
It's his birthday on August 24th.
Oh yeah? So I didn't even know that. Well, I'm about to do a bit of James Toney then.
So I was going to say, what do you like about Tony? But you just showed me something there, yeah?
James Toney was, listen, he was a bad man. That's certain things that people say. The Rock said that I'm a badass fighter. James Toney was a bad man. Literally, he was a serious fighter. In the pocket, out of the pocket, he fought big guys, small guys, won up weight divisions. And again, even he fought late in his career. I'm sure he still never got dropped, and he was fighting prime guys and things like that. So James Toney he will always be a veteran in the sport.
And with regards to Tony, it was a cross between his personality and his fighting style.
100%.
The ability to
more
fight in the rain without getting wet.
That's it. More of his fighting style. Again, he went in there with big punches. He went in there with fast guys. He fought all different kinds of styles. Again, he fought a lot of world championship fights.
Tunde has been a real, would you say, role model to you?
You know what? Tunde has been a role model. Tunde's definitely been a role model. I don't know anybody, I've never heard of anybody, even through watching TV, I've never seen somebody study for as long as Tunde does, to keep his concentration. I've never seen someone so focused for so many years. When I first met Tunde, I used to say, this guy's mad, this guy's been reading, these...
Everyone still says that now.
Everyone still says that. And again, everyone that people say is mad, years down the line they say he's a genius. That's why I called him genius from the first time I met him.
He's the one who actually gave me the name Genius.
Yeah, I called him a genius because I didn't understand how this guy was sitting there reading combinations for hours, putting it into practice. I didn't understand how he remembered his combinations. I saw him doing pads with a young boy named Otu, Junior Saba, back in the day, and I couldn't believe it. I was saying, this ain't the same combination they're doing over and over again. When I actually paid attention, I said, they've been doing different combinations for about half an hour. And I said, that's a genius. And he sat down and wrote these combinations from, again, studying the sport, doing all these things. Again, he gained his experience in the gym.
So while other guys have come and gone, how come you stayed?
Because I'm special.
No, you meant to say because he's special.
No, I'm special too. He's special too.
Because I'm special. I feel like it was just meant to be this way. Energy goes where energy flows. I'm a very strong believer in energy. There's energy around us right now. The trees bring energy, you bring energy, I bring energy, the camera brings energy, Sunday brings energy.
Do I bring the negative or the positive?
No.
Energy's energy.
This is how it works. If you brought a negative energy, you wouldn't have interviewed me more than once.
Yes.
That's just how it happens. Or we would have fell out over something.
What does his loyalty mean to you, Tunde? How much does it mean
It's
to you?
funny because
you've seen the guys come and go.
It's funny because as Andy was talking and as you was asking the question, I was thinking about that. And you know, for me, Anthony taught me something because I was always a person who, and Andy said it to me, his mother said to me as well, I'm always a person that tells people how much I love them. You know, and I used to be like that with, and you know, fighters would say to me, Unks, I'll never leave you, I'll never leave you. And it's so funny that the one person who never said that to me is the one that stayed.
Yeah.
You know, and he never said that. And he taught me that words are not necessary when you love someone. He taught me that you feel it. You feel it. What is the point of saying you love someone? What is the point of saying you're never gonna leave someone and then you leave them? You know what I'm saying?
It's too real.
It's like this man, this young man, showed me that talk is cheap and just be what you want to see. And Anthony hasn't done anything other than be himself. And I've always been myself. I just was more vocal about it. And that's why I said Anthony's a special case. You know, I call myself the teacher, but I learn from him as well.
Back in the day on the street, Tunde was a diplomat, keeping everyone sweet and not taking sides and all the rest of it. And he was just, you know, he was doing what he could.
Is that what he
but
told you?
That's true.
without raising hell.
Yes.
Without getting too far drawn into the gang life. But for you, was that ever an option?
It was. I feel like it was an option because it was there, but it was never my reality.
Is it a hard thing to fight? The lure, the temptation of wanting to be like others, of wanting that status. Is it a hard thing to fight? The kids in England, in London, find it hard to resist that.
I feel like they find it hard because they're weak, they're lazy and they're scared. I've never been like that. So when I saw certain things, I've got a mind, I've got a brain, and a lot of people do. A lot of people also got intuition. They know when something's right and wrong. But they choose to do it because it's the easy thing to do. Their boys are doing it, their friends are doing it, so I'm going to do it as well. It's a follower's mentality. Again, I've said this from the beginning. This is why Lions in the camp. Not only am I Leo, and we're, you know, king of the jungles, whether you don't like it or not. Leo's our king of the jungle. I've always been a leader. I've always had a leader mentality. From when I was in school, from when I was out of school, if I went to a youth club, no matter what my surroundings were, I always fought for myself. The whole classroom could have done something. I was sitting there and I'm not doing that, so I won't do it. I've always been like that as well. So a lot of these young kids that get led astray or get led into temptation, they're just weak and they can't think for themselves.
So what would you say? Obviously, you're a role model yourself. You're in a position where people do look up to you.
Yeah.
What would you say to them if they're either in a gang or tempted to go down that route, to go down that road?
I would say look for what inspires you in me. So don't look at me as a human being because you're your own human being. Don't try and be me. Try and be yourself, but look for what inspires you in me. So if what inspires you in me is where I've come from, you know, the fact I'm on a global stage now boxing, the fact that I've been sponsored by Adidas, the fact that Tunde's my trainer, the fact all these things. If that's what inspires you, take that from me. But don't take my personality because I'm still human. I'm still going through my path of life. I'm still learning every day. I'm still making mistakes. So be yourself, but take from the people you look up to. Take inspiration from them. That's what I'll say.
Do the streets ever call you now?
You know what? they always call me.
Says with sirens going.
Literally, because this is where we are. This is where we are. We're in Stratford right now, and again, the streets always call you. You'll be walking down the street, you drive in your car, and there's people looking at you funny. But again, that's something I outgrew. You know, I remember when I was younger, and literally Stratford over there, McDonald's, I had a certain mentality And there was a guy that was staring at me for at least 3 minutes. At least 3 minutes. This is when I was growing up and I was younger. So I went over to him and I said, do you fancy me? And literally, he didn't know what to say. Like he looked me up and down a couple of times, and I said, I'm asking you a question, do you fancy me? Because you don't know me, so why are you looking at me? And then me and him ended up becoming good friends. Because what I said made him laugh. And even in a serious situation, he said, I can't believe you just asked me if I fancy you. Do you get what I'm saying? But my mentality was, I reacted to what he was doing. Nowadays, I wouldn't do that. I would look at somebody and I'll probably smile, I'll probably put my hand up and carry on driving. Because he's looking at me, I don't know why he's looking at me. But back in the day, my mentality was, he's looking at me, what's he looking at? What is it?
What's his problem?
What's his problem? And that's what a lot of people, even girls, think like that. What's she looking at? You get what I'm saying? I say to my friends nowadays, you don't know what she's looking at. She might think you're pretty. Do you know what I'm saying? Stop thinking like that. I stop thinking like that. When people are looking at me now, I wave. If they don't wave back, I keep it moving.
What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't fighting?
I don't know. And that's me being honest. I'll either have a multi-million pound empire business, or I'd rather be a sportsman in another field. I would be a manager in some kind of field. I don't know. I'm boxing. That's my reality.